Sarah Boyd for Communication 112?
111.
111, apologies. First speech, the tribute speech. This is my lovely audience. Say hello, audience.
Hello. We're not cardboard.
Can move.
Okay, so now I'm going to give you a speech. My name is Sarah Boyd. I'm going to talk about stage managers and how underappreciated they are in theater. So when I was 18, I emailed a family friend who worked at a community theater down in Alexandria, Virginia. I had always loved theater and I wanted to get involved any way I could. So I emailed him and I said, "What can I do?" The next day I expected an email that said, "Here are audition days, come and give us a monologue." Instead I got an email that said, "We need a stage manager as soon as possible. Are you in?" And I said, "Yes, of course I'm in." And I had no idea what a stage manager did. But my decision was that I was going to fake it until I made it. And now I actually stage manage for a living. So, when you go and see a live show, you're very likely to see the actors. You're very likely to see the sets and the lights and hear the sounds. These all present to you the director's vision. However, what you will not see is everything that a stage manager does. For example, you will not see that a stage manager arrived 1 hour early every day before rehearsal to help an actor learn his lines. You will not see that a stage manager has double-checked every single movement that an actor makes, including the option of going directly on stage and pushing them to where they need to be to make sure they would be in their light. You will not see that a stage manager has organized and written down every single change in the lights, every single change in the sound, and every single movement of the set to make sure that they all work together. The stage manager essentially creates a master list of everything that happens in the production. My good friend and co-stage manager, Margaret Evans-Joyce, has said that a stage manager is the first to arrive at a theater and the last to leave. And this is true. A stage manager's hours are longer than anybody else because a stage manager must make sure that everything is ready for the next show and must get there early to make sure that everything was ready the last time. So, a stage manager has the widest variety of jobs. A stage manager must be a boss. They must be able to tell the actors where to go and when to go there. A stage manager must be a secretary, because someone has to keep notes of what the director wants. And a stage manager must be the bearer of bad news, when a designer cannot make a wagon that goes off stage and collapses. A stage manager must also be a cat herder, when the actors have decided that a coffee break was more important than their rehearsal time. A stage manager must be the most organized person on the crew, because when a set designer has to keep track of his sets, or a sound designer must keep track of her sound, or a lights designer must keep track of their lights, a stage manager must not only keep track of all of these things, but the people who designed them, so that she knows who to call when something goes wrong. A stage manager must also be a manager. That does not mean making sure that everything's on stage in the right place, or that the actors are on stage in the right place. A stage manager must also be a time manager. They must make sure that when it is a week before the show opens, that tech rehearsals start on time, because they must see everything that happens in the show at least 7 times before it actually happens in front of an audience. They must squeeze the entire show into 2 hours when before rehearsals were running for 3. And a stage manager will get no real public recognition either. For the amount of work they do, they are recognized the least. They are recognized simply by a wave at the end of curtain calls. So though they appreciate the actor's gesture, they know that the audience is really still clapping for the actors on stage. So when you go and see a show, it's actually a good thing that the stage manager is something that goes unnoticed, because if they've done their job right, the show has run smoothly, and you have not noticed anything that could have happened. However, a stage manager still deserves more recognition than they deserve. So the next time you go and see a show, think about what the stage manager does, because half of the audience doesn't really know. And I hope the fact that you now know will make you appreciate them as much as I do. Thank you.